Can you hear yourself pretty well?
Can I hear myself? I can, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I can hear you.
Try to get as close to the without staring at it. Closer. Okay. We're very informal here. I like that about it.
I like that.
If I was too formal, then I'd have to do too much advanced planning. So things are just kind of happening today. You know,
Yes.
like you guys were. I loved your priority. Just watch the team, cheer them on, connect with them.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that's great.
That's
But
great.
we are live from the head of the Charles. This is Charlotte Pierce. I'm the producer of Ready Row USA. And welcome to our afternoon. Is it afternoon yet?
I think so.
It's 1 o'clock.
Afternoon.
We've had a great morning. We had one of the fathers from the Black Men's 8, John Allen, was here talking. He was the first one. Great guy, just inspiring what his son is doing,
Nice.
representing the sport and,
Yeah.
and broadening it. And then we had Lane and Nick Karwoski.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Hydro,
they
yeah.
were from Hydro.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're just electric.
They're amazing. I've done some of their workouts, so.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you love them.
It's crazy.
And they have this training program that
Yes.
they're developing
Wonderful.
to tag along. So you are. Oh, it shouldn't say up next. It should say now. Live now. Live. Where is my tech director when I need him? Her.
I know nothing tech related. So.
Oh. Anyway, we just like to get us this. Tell your rowing story is the theme of our broadcast this weekend,
Right.
and just all sorts of the panorama of people. And you tell me you're with Rowing Cares
Yes.
Survivor Network. Is that
Yes.
correct?
So yes, it's so I'm with both. With Rowing Cares is the kind of parent company, if you will, and then Survivor Rowing Network is a program within Rowing Cares.
Yes.
So Rowing Cares is celebrating its 30th anniversary this year. We were started by Kathy Frederick out of Portland, Oregon,
Okay.
and as a series of events across the country to raise awareness and raise funds for cancer patients and toward research.
Okay.
That was 30 years ago, and it has really exploded since then. And this year, in addition to hosting events in Seattle and San Diego and Poughkeepsie and Princeton and all around the country, we launched the Survivor Rowing Network. And we learned about the Survivor, we got the idea of the Survivor Rowing Network because we give grants to community cancer organizations for patients and survivors. And we learned that there are 10, 15, 20 of these organizations around the country. And we thought, wouldn't it be great to bring them together to strengthen the network and also to bring more survivors to rowing. So that was how it really all started earlier this year. And then we started thinking about what would be a way to shine a spotlight on survivor rowing and head of the Charles. So we are forever incredibly, eternally grateful for the head of the Charles.
They really featured you.
They really did, and they really welcomed us.
So what were the activities? You have a booth?
Yes, we have a tent that's near the Elliott Bridge. We invite anyone to stop by.
It's a great atmosphere. People stop by.
It is.
There's bonding going on.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful. So we have, and you can see us around town because we have beach colors on, and they're wonderful. From JL, our partner JL, did a great job.
Is Allie Abrams involved?
Yes, absolutely. And so they've been really wonderful. I mean, everyone again has just been so supportive of everything that we're doing. And a kind of a funny thing was yesterday, the athletes met at our booth, in our tent, and they have come from 5 different rowing organizations, and many of them had never met each other before. So they trained virtually. They always had a training plan from our coach, but they met virtually via Zoom to bond, to get to know each other. But yesterday they had a practice row. It was the first time they'd ever been in a boat together. And yesterday was the first time many of them had ever met.
Oh, is it mostly women?
It's all women this year, yeah. But our mission is our mission is also welcoming for men, and we've met quite a few here this week. And
I saw the big hats.
Yes, and so we are hoping to do more, and more of the programs are also having men. But a lot of it started for breast cancer awareness, and so that's been a big focus because it is October, Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Absolutely.
So, but we are open, and we encourage all survivors of any cancer to be part of it.
And so rowing on water, is that the
Recovery on Water is one of our so we have 20 programs right now. We started with 16, and then we've added 4. But Recovery on Water is an amazing program in Chicago that has been, hundreds and hundreds of survivors have been touched by that program, and they're a wonderful part of the network.
I did not realize how that fit in.
Yeah, and the first survivor rowing program was We Can Row Boston.
Okay.
That was started 21 years ago by Holly Metcalf, the MIT coach and Olympic gold medalist, and one of our legendary. Oh my gosh! So our boats raced out of the MIT boathouse.
Okay.
So because we're a virtual network, we don't have a boathouse, and I reached out to Holly, and she started the We Can Row Boston, and she's so supportive of everything we're doing. And I said, hey, Holly, would it be possible to row out of the MIT boathouse? Absolutely. Not only row out of the MIT boathouse, but she provided 2 coxswains for our boats. So one from the open weight team and one from the lightweight team. And of course, to have coxswains, the race course is key.
It's like gold.
It's like everything. And so it's many of the athletes who rowed, the survivors, some of them had never rowed in a race before.
Today?
No, they've never rowed in a head race.
Just the machine? They've just done the machine?
They've rowed,
Oh, I see.
but they never competed in a race. So for them, it's like for all of us, it's been an overwhelming experience because we just couldn't really ever imagine it could happen. But I haven't seen the athletes yet. They'll be here about 2:30. We'll be at the stage, and then we'll be at the JL tent for a meet and greet. But I can't wait to give them a hug and hear their story.
Yeah.
What was it like? It's great. It's great.
It's like no other experience.
No.
I was talking to one of your members yesterday who had had MS and breast cancer. And she was like so healthy. She had pretty much no more MS.
Right.
Do you see stories like that?
Absolutely. And I mean, we know, those of us who've been around rowing for a while, know the health benefits, physical, mental, emotional of rowing, what it can bring to you. And so a lot of these survivors were not rowers.
Yeah.
They found rowing through their hospital, their oncologist, their doctor. And that's one of the things that we wanted to.
So you actually, do you reach out to doctors and medical people?
We are. And that's part of the network is in our quest to start more programs and to have more survivors find rowing is trying to work with organizations as a referral and then find boathouses who want to start the program. So there's a lot of.
Have you talked to community rowing?
Not yet. I'd love to.
I know there's a weekend row in DC.
There's a weekend row DC, and there is one in Boston that rows out of the BU boathouse. And they, but we'd love to, I mean, that's one of the things we'd love to do is to start to talk to people and just, the network is really about strengthening the current programs. And we have these listen and learn Zoom calls. So we have some programs that have a couple people, and we have some programs that have 100 people. And the idea is to share and fundraising tips and and here's a deck if you're reaching out to corporate sponsors. Here's some of the things so that people can feel like they're part of something bigger.
And you have a breast cancer, like a doctor or somebody who's not familiar with the sport, or is there skepticism about what it'll do?
Absolutely.
Like there's like you have a mastectomy. It's like
absolutely, and so we have a lot of really good information that we've worked with the programs that have been around for a while to get that information and those fact sheets so we can help them to understand why it's so important. But one of the best deterrents to recurrence is exercise. And so it's just so important for anyone who's completing a treatment to find exercise. And what rowing brings, though, is the socialization as well. So in these survivor rowing programs, people meet other women and men who have been through what they've been through. So not only are they rowing together, but they're sharing their journey together.
It's just the mental benefits.
It is.
You probably see that as affecting.
No, and it's just such a powerful sport. The connection between rowing and cancer, it's hard. They're hard, and but the benefits for the survivors. We have people who are currently in treatment.
And they're rowing.
Yeah. Now, I mean, everybody needs to check in, of course, with their doctor and things. It's just all different,
We have a woman, community rowing, who's basically legendary. You should talk to her.
Oh, right. Who's that?
Teresa Welch.
Okay. All right.
And she had her story's been out there, so I'm revealing it. But she had a stroke and then cancer and several bouts of cancer and is currently in treatment. She's out there coxing, coaching, doing para, support, coaching para.
Yes.
She is my inspiration.
Oh wow! We'd love to talk to her.
Yeah.
We've met. There's a woman from Nassau rowing. We've met a lot of. Somehow the word is getting around.
Yeah.
Which is great. Thank you. Yeah.
Great, yeah.
So I've over the last 2 days since I've been here, I've gotten quite a few texts and emails from survivors who want to know more. They want to learn how can they start a program. They want to know, do we have a program in New Jersey, or how can I volunteer? What can I do? We had a woman who write to us. She has a daughter who's rowing here, who's 17. She's a 16-year survivor.
A 17-year-old?
Yes. So she's competing this weekend. We have a lot of people stop by and they go, 8 years and 8 years, And so we just want to do everything we can to provide information for people who want to get involved.
And how many members do you have here with you now? Are there people that aren't rowing?
Yes. So we have a big contingent from We Can Row Boston.
Okay.
All of the clubs that are involved, which are River City Rowing out of Sacramento, We Can Row DC, Cortland Community Rowing Association out of Cortland, New York, and Saugatuck Survivors out of the Saugatuck.
Survivors, I heard about
Isn't that good?
I think it was Instagram or something.
Love that name.
Yeah, it's great.
So all of those clubs have brought teams. I mean, we had a big group up on the Elliott Bridge cheering for them.
I think I heard you.
Yeah, and then we have 5 members of the Rowing Cares Board of Directors here supporting. We have a Survivor Rowing Network steering team from clubs. There's Upper Valley Rowing up in Hanover has a contingent here. So it's been like a reunion because we've done this all virtually. It all just kind of evolved this year. So anyway.
Do you know Linda Murray?
I do,
Yeah.
yes, and she's very supportive. Yes, very supportive.
She's a force.
She is. She really is. And
Does biking, like long distance biking.
she does that Pan Mass Challenge. And she's hosting some of the survivors the survivors from Upper Valley over at Cambridge this weekend. So it's great. So and Charlotte, we hope next year, to be back in force again, and if it grows the way it's starting to grow, we'll.
And I think, my mother had like a doctor or something. She's passed away, but I think you never know, when it might happen. So it's important to stay healthy.
Absolutely.
So we can fight that.
Exactly.
When you need to.
Exactly. So I'm a 18-year cancer survivor, and when I finished my treatment, I was given the name of a lady who did Reiki, which is wonderful. But I was a former rower. I rowed at college, but I never knew about rowing for cancer survivors. Would have been great. Would have loved it. And that's what and it's a big task. And that's why
it's like you want to solve it all at once.
No. And we're hoping to get some funding. That's one of the things that we're working on now. We've had people stop by from regattas and say, "Would you bring your tent to a regatta? Could we do a survivor row at our regatta?" So we're hoping next year to have more races. But we're not all just about the races. I mean, we're also this team just came together, but we're really about each organization has its own philosophy, and some are very much about recreation and rehabilitation and more of a social network kind of thing. And other people want to race, So that's what we're just trying to make anything possible. Dreams come true. That's what we're trying to do.
I'm glad you said that. It's not all about the racing.
It's not all about the racing.
I've heard that from so many people here. I just like to go out and take pictures of birds.
Exactly. And honestly, some of the programs they might enter a race here and there.
Yeah.
Right. This came out of the blue. This came out of the blue,
I can't believe what you've done. It's
been
just
fun.
so wonderful.
So wonderful.
Is there anything else you'd like to let people know?
No, we just that we'd love to have anyone get involved, volunteer, or if you're with a rowing club and you'd be interested in how to start a program, if
Can
you
we do more live streams?
do more live streams, yes, absolutely. If you'd like to support us in any way, go to the survivorrowingnetwork.org, our website. You can fill in an information form, and we'll reach out to you. We got an email this morning from the Kelly Clarkson show. I don't know if you.
What?
I know.
Next year I was on Kelly Clarkson.
All right.
I think she's like tuned into rowing.
I guess so. So we had a lot of great press. We were in the Boston yesterday. We had a lot of great. We've had a lot of great press. And so this morning, we got an email like early in the morning. Hi, I'm the producer from the Kelly Clarkson show. We'd really like to talk about having you on. Would you be interested to us?
Yeah, well, maybe.
Yeah, maybe we will. Maybe we will.
She's great.
But it was just the idea was that, once you start to get the story out, people are interested in that. So there's a lot of different ways to get involved. Volunteering, funding, anything. Starting a program. Yeah. So the other thing that we're just looking at now, and again, it's all happened very quickly, but we've heard from people who don't have a boathouse. How can they be involved? So we're looking at how do we create a virtual network? Could we have practices? What we might be able to do.
Is Upper Valley?
They're on the river, the Connecticut River up there in Hanover. I don't know where they row out of, or they row. I don't know where they row out of, but they're near water. So we have a lot of people we have one lady who wrote us. She moved from Sammamish to Idaho.
Yeah.
She's like, I want to be part of you. I don't have water. What can we do together? So
do you have some members that are just on machines?
We're just trying to figure that out. It just has evolved. So we have 20 programs right now that are on water, on boathouses. We're looking at an indoor rowing component. So how do we have more of a virtual? So
What a concept too.
Yeah, exactly. So again, these are things that just every day something new comes up. We had some people come up who race dragon boats, and they say, "Oh, we'd love to meet your survivors, and maybe we could have a race together or something, or do a program or meet each other." So we don't really. It just is evolving, But right now, we're just really focused on helping the network programs and seeing how we can bring more into the system. But we'll have a busy winter, but we're excited.
Well, I know you've got a lot going on today, but
thanks, Charlotte. So nice to meet you.
I'm serious. I'd love to kind of do an ongoing series.
Let's do. We'd love to too. And we have a lot of the rowers are here this afternoon. Some of them, or tomorrow, or via Zoom or something. They would love to tell they all have a really interesting story, and I think the story of their race. I can't wait to hear that story, and maybe you could talk to somebody.
Grab some of them for that.
Let's do that. Okay.
Deal.
Thanks, Charlotte.
Thank you so much.
Great to meet you. Thank you.
It's really important.
Thank you.
I believe we're live. Hold on a second. I gotta check one more thing. That off. Music off. Hi, it's Charlotte Pierce here from the head of the Charles Regatta with the
You want me to cover that?
contingent from Cenogenics.
Oh, you got it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Nice.
Who are one of the major sponsors of the head of the Charles Regatta. Thank you so much. It's great when companies do that and create this magical experience.
You think this wonderful one right here?
Yeah.
Is our
Is she
CEO.
the one?
Yeah,
You're
yes,
the
CEO.
CEO?
Yeah,
The
yes.
CEO.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Yeah, so they came up yesterday, and we were talking about some of the reasons we like rowing,
Yeah.
and the head of the Charles, and what it means.
The unrecorded episode.
Yes, the unrecorded episode. So tell us a little bit about the company, and whoever wants to talk is fine. You're Rudy Inaba,
Yes.
Christy Berry.
Christy Berry, and Peter Helger.
Correct. Nice. Good memory. Good memories.
She texted me.
And I'm
She
Charlotte.
texted me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just,
She's doing her due diligence. I love it.
I know. You gotta be quick. Tell us a little bit about the company and how you got involved with the head of the Charles.
Absolutely. Cenogenics, we are the leaders in performance health age management medicine. We started in 1997. We have 22 centers across the country and 8 internationally. And we take a proactive, comprehensive approach to optimizing health. And optimizing health can mean different things for different people. That can be from managing your risk factors if you are maybe more prone to potential disease risk, but also can mean maximizing performance at any age too. So it can be from some people who just need to improve their health to people that want to improve their performance. Ultimately, our biggest piece, our mission actually verbatim, is to transform people's lives. And we do that through different diagnostic testing, evaluations, stratifying risk, and we do nutrition, exercise, nutraceuticals, hormone optimization when it's clinically indicated. And our patients or our clients, they maintain a membership with us, going to our facilities, they have all their products sent to them. We do ongoing labs so that we can really manage their health factors and their biomarkers to ensure they are in the lowest risk factors for preventable diseases.
And this is just all kinds of people, not
all
just
kinds of people.
athletes.
All kinds of people. Yeah, no, honestly, general population is our larger patient base. We've worked with a lot of really like high-level athletes as well. But mostly we are general population people that just want to be able to continue to do the things that they love. This is a perfect example. About an hour or two ago, we actually gave awards to a lot of the Masters and Senior Masters and Grandmasters winners in different events.
Yeah.
And it resonated with us because these are people that love rowing, right? They love. I mean, you close your eyes when I say it. Yeah, you love it, and we want you to be able to do that for as long as you possibly can. We don't claim to say like you're going to live to 140 years old. Like we don't do that. But what we do focus on is giving you that extra decade, right? That extra decade in your life.
Absolutely.
To really maximize. Yeah.
10 years or whatever, it's just
10 years to do what you want to do. That's the thing. So
in
Quality, that's what I was going to
Yeah.
say. Yeah.
Yeah, like I was telling you yesterday, all these women in their 70s and 80s that are in my rowing club, community rowing,
nice.
they keep me coming, because I want to be like that.
Yeah.
I want to be like that.
Well, everyone gets farther as a community as well. And what people like when someone turns 80 years old and they're getting older, they're maybe at risk for some diseases, challenges. We can start to improve things at that time, but if the best efforts are going to happen when you're like in your 50s, 60s, earlier than that, 70s, because you're putting, you're putting health benefits in the health benefit bank essentially, and you're building up that savings so you can maximize that, throughout the course of the rest of your life.
Yeah, it's the bank. Yeah, so I was talking with a woman with the Survivor Network.
Yeah,
and we were talking about how, even if you haven't been diagnosed with cancer, keeping that level of health and fitness when or if you do, it enables you to fight that battle.
Yeah, no, and again, I know the intention of us talking is not to get into the weeds in there, which we absolutely could. That could be a whole other podcast for us.
No, I get.
But honestly, like from like body fat levels to diet to the benefits of exercise to benefits of hormone management, benefits of certain nutraceuticals, because people actually can see nutrient deficiencies and insufficiencies lead to inflammatory markers going up, and then having like cancer start to potentially be produced. So there's a lot of different efforts that we can have for our patients to initiate so that we can really maximize that. But the rowing, one of the things that we
So
talked
you're
about.
a rower, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
I started rowing in a club about 3 years ago now. I row a starboard and sweep. So I'm either a 7 or a 5. So it depends who else is in the boat. If there's a better 7 in there, then I get pushed to the 5. So, but it's okay. The guy who pushed me back, he's like a 6'4" guy from Cambridge, England, who's like incredible. So like no offense taken. So
Just like learn from it.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So it was Rudy about 6 weeks ago, prior to the Heather Charles. He lobbed out a company-wide challenge on the most meters rowed for the company, and the winner won a free trip to Heather Charles with us.
Yeah, we actually didn't mention that yesterday.
Yeah.
It wasn't me.
Christy approved it.
Christy approved it. She
Yeah.
participated. We never got to. Do we get numbers on her? Like how
We
many
didn't get
meters?
numbers.
Okay.
We didn't get numbers on me, but I did it. I participated.
We won't publish your name.
Yeah.
Your ERG squad.
No, so we had participants from our performance health team. So with Senate with our programs, our patients have a physician that they work with, and they also have their performance health coach and their coordinator. And a lot of the performance health coaches are, we're all into fitness, we're all into training. Many people compete in many different things. So we all have like competitive spirit. So someone rowed over 300,000 meters in 42 days on the erg, on top of their other strength and conditioning work. And this guy rowed 240?
No, 203.
203. Okay, he rowed
203,000.
Were you
203K.
chasing it, the other person?
I started out initially, but then coaching kids sports. Like once the kids sports got involved, because I did a couple hour and a half long rows.
He did an hour and a half straight on the erg. He watched the flash and he rode the whole time. Yeah.
Didn't finish the flash. I still don't know what happened. But
Have we gotten you on the water yet?
no,
He needs to. He would be awesome.
I'm a big fan. I love rowing. I've been rowing for the last 15 years, but like mixed modality.
Yeah.
So like weightlifting and rowing combined.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we could get our coaches that row on an erg to
Maybe
get
we'll
on the
have a
water
boat
together,
here. Maybe we'll have-
we have a pretty good like
Be a
mixed
force.
4,
Be a
4
force.
and 8. We'd be pretty awesome.
Right.
So
So how did you connect with how long has the company been going on?
We have been around for 26 years. So we were founded in 1997. And as Rudy mentioned, we've just expanded our footprint over those 26 years. I've actually been with the company 24 of its 26 years. So I've really seen us be able to evolve and bring this to so many more people, because truly, health is just such an important investment for everybody to make in themselves. So, I think your question was around how did we come on to Head of the Charles, and obviously Rudy, of course, that connection and him doing the rowing, but as an organization, just recognizing just amazing companies that are very aligned with our same value system, and that is exactly what Head of the Charles is. So we've just been so honored to be part of this here today.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, thanks for making it happen.
from the whole spectrum too. I mean, so my background is in clinical exercise physiology. So from the physiologist perspective of like how fantastic rowing is, training from an aerobic energy system into an anaerobic energy system, seeing the carryover in your strength and conditioning from different squats and deadlifts and different training you can do to maximize your performance on the water. The challenge with your brain and your neuromuscular feedback as you feather and square the blade every single stroke, and trying to time your slide with the person in front of you. There's so much stimulus from a physiology perspective that's really great for the body, not just in a strength and conditioning way, but also in a cognitive way.
Yes.
And then also too, like just the whole concept of rowing around, working together as a team in unison, having the discipline to, maybe if something doesn't feel right for you, like maybe your range of motion go a little bit further, but the seat in front of you can't push it that far, so you need to adjust to them. You adjust for the others on your team, because it's all for the greater good of the boat. And that represents an organization really well too, like ours.
Translates so well.
So
to
well.
Any activity.
Yeah, it really does. You know, you follow your leader, right? You follow your coxswain, you know, and you have different positions that are, you know, responsible for different things, but you need to work together. That's the primary piece.
Right. So besides the awards, what have been some other highlights?
The awards have been awesome. They've been fantastic. We actually, you know, met really exciting physicians that row. That one was she's
physician.
Yeah, medical doctors. Yeah, one of the doctors actually is here in Boston, and it really sparked a long-term relationship we had with her, you know, years ago. So it's like we re-engaged, reignited it. So super excited there. And one of the physicians that was actually presenting some of the awards, she was full-time Olympian in single scull, and she's current resident, I believe, in
she's Debbie Stone.
Yes. So she was fantastic. So we got to talk to her, and that's been really exciting. We talked to a lot of the vendors. Bio Rower is actually super cool. They're the only ones that you can actually row sweep on one of those dynamic machines.
Yes, they had one at CRI once.
It's pretty amazing. So their CEO is in Austria, but they have a pretty big national footprint, and we're interested in getting some of their equipment into our flagship offices as a way to expose new clients coming in to the feeling of on the water rowing, to really build that rowing community and initiating that.
Yeah, get that little.
Yeah, get the hook.
Well, I mean, and for us, rowing is we prescribe it a lot.
Yes.
From performance health side.
Yeah.
Because you know, a lot of people come in with pre-existing conditions, knees, hips, and rowing, it does take a lot of pressure off some of the joints compared to running. So that's always my go-to. If somebody doesn't want to run or can't run.
And you know, my demographic. You know, I don't run anymore because it's too hard on my so you can just.
So my mother, so I had the erg. I have a C2 at home. Put a ton of time on it. You know, I was doing like fly and die, like 500-meter sprints as my main form, and now I started to push it to like 1,000-meter pieces on the slides, the C2 slides. But my mom always liked rowing. She was always intrigued by it. She's not really super athletic, but she started going to like an Orange Theory in town, like where I live, and she hit her first 500-meter sprint in class on one of the water rowers, and she just felt so good about herself. And you know, it's nice because you know she has some knee issues, and you know she's in her late 60s now, but she was like. She's like, you know, we use the word reignited, and that's her. Like, she's super excited. I get texts from her like every day where she's like, "Hey, I'm doing my Orange Theory class. You know, I hit 1,000 meters unbroken." Like, so she's really excited. It's cool to see, you know, especially as a son.
Yeah. You know, have you rowed on the Charles River?
I have not.
Where are you all based?
I'm in Las Vegas. He's in Philadelphia, and Christy's in Atlanta. So she's got the Chattahoochee, he has the Schuylkill, and then I have Lake Las Vegas. Yeah, and we also have one of our doctors is in Cleveland. So the Cleveland Rowing Club, I have no affiliation with them, but I follow them on Instagram, and they have like a beautiful setup. We get to, you know, we've been getting more exposure to seeing all the different clubs across the country because they've been fantastic. Like, I drove by the San Diego one, the San Diego boathouse. Some of the Masters competitors are here, so talk to them, and they have a really cool spot.
The Crew Classic, the director of the Crew Classic, Bobby Smith, yesterday, and I had rowed there. I just, whenever I travel, I walk in and row.
That's what I want to do, actually. Like,
such a great community. You know?
Yeah, actually, so we, personal, but my wife and I we're taking our son to Minneapolis and Detroit for spring break. And one of the first things I did was like look if there's like rowing clubs in the area to try to like get a little practice in one of those mornings. So
Minneapolis Rowing Club, I talk to them. You know, I do these rowing club spotlights, just random clubs. You know,
you're doing with Lake Las Vegas. It's a unique place. Yeah, Lake Las Vegas Rowing Club, where I row at, is incredibly unique because
it's a lake.
It's a man-made lake in the middle of this red desert, and it feels like you're on Mars when you're rowing. And the coaches are fantastic. We have really great juniors, really great masters. Very fortunate to have that in the desert.
Yeah. There are some people here from they're doing a global effort at the COP29 to improve water quality. Yeah.
So we actually closed the lake for like 6 weeks because we had monsoons. In the desert, we have monsoon season. It's not really like a certain month that it happens. It's just they all come together at one time. But it pushed a lot of like water into the lake, a lot of like trash, and like it's gross. So they actually closed the lake for 6 weeks, and they had to change practice. We did like the first 3 weeks just on birds only, and then they got approval to go out on Lake Mead, like with the Hoover Dam. So people were rowing in Lake Mead for the first time, really almost ever, in a controlled like practice environment.
And Lake Mead is the one that dropped way down.
Yes,
there.
yes.
Is that building back up?
No, not to sugarcoat
all
it.
All that rain.
It's still not enough. We have a lot. Yeah, I mean, it's tough. I mean,
Yeah.
that could be a whole other conversation on sustainability and best practices there.
I
But
know,
yeah,
I know, yeah.
We can try and solve a lot of problems today.
We can solve the world's problems here with rowing. Yeah. Well, what else did you want to highlight from your presence here?
Really, it's just I think for us, and Christy, you can back this up, is that for so many years, Cenogenics and our services were like the behind the curtain kind of experience. Like it was secretive. Like we didn't really talk about it. And now that's not the case. We had our like coming out party, so to speak, like a few years back. And this is just, an extended, party to embrace, who our audience is, and get ourselves out there, because we have programs for everyone. For someone who's maybe in college, who wants to look at their body fat percentage or do their VO2 max testing so that they can adjust their training and diet to really maximize their rowing performance, we have programs for them. For someone who maybe fell off the wagon of a healthy lifestyle and they need to lose some weight, and that's really one of their primary drivers, we have those options too that are medically supervised. And we have ones that are really just trying to maximize performance and reduce their risk factors as much as possible. And that is our performance health program, which encompasses everything. We have the ongoing testing throughout the course of the year. We have the blood work that we do 4 to 5 times per year, supplements, prescriptive therapies. You have a relationship with your doctor. You can talk to your doctor for 30 minutes to 2 hours, throughout each consult you have. So it's an experience that not many people have ever had before. So it really drives a lot of change.
Yeah.
And I think just to build on that, so many people, especially in the last 3 years following the pandemic, have really wanted to take more accountability for their health. And they want to know what's going on and how can they improve and, feel better, live better, outperform maybe their parents and their grandparents and what they saw them go through. And I think, with all the different technology that's out there, right? Wearables, the Aura Ring, look at you. Yes, you got their watches.
Yes,
exactly. Who's
my
counting
grandma
steps?
is yelling at me that I
You've been sitting all day.
Get up and move. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I have an aerobic shortage or something.
Okay.
Yeah, you probably know what that
But we're tracking so much.
I know.
And then what do you do with that?
Yeah.
And so Cenogenics really helps pull all of that information together, because there's no single thing that's going to miraculously help you transform. It's pulling it all together, really understanding it. And so that's why we built a team of performance health coaches, these guys right here, their colleagues and physicians, to help, to really partner with you.
And not to
No,
to
please.
continue on that, our focus is the unique individual. Like we treat the individual. Like that's our goal. And perfect example is I have a patient in Philadelphia. She came very deconditioned, out of shape, but her goal was she wanted to get back on the water.
Yeah.
And she was worried. I'm overweight. I have no cardio base. So we started one of the vendors here, Hydro Row. She was on the Hydro Row.
I have one.
We started building up her upper body strength to get in and out of water. And with all that accountability, she lost a ton of weight. And she was on. She got back on the water with her and her friend. And she's building to a full person.
Yeah.
At 73 years old.
It's awesome.
Yeah. So it's never too late to get back in.
And honestly, the mobility and range of motion and strength it takes to get in and out of a double
That's what she
on
was
a
worried
dock
about.
is really tough.
She was really worried about that.
Yeah.
That, and then also getting out of the water because she scuba dives too. Yeah. She was worried about carrying the scuba gear out of the water. But now she's doing it. No problem.
Yeah, because you can lose your way. You can.
Yeah.
You get one
Life
injury and then
happens.
you're sitting on the recovery, and then how do you get back in?
Well, we see it all the time with our patients that pick up on health issues, pick up on health risk factors. Like you get injured, get divorced, lose a job, lose a loved one. All of those impact how we go about our lives, the enthusiasm we have living our lives as well. And we identify all these things with our patient with subjective and also objective, and we create this plan. Just like Pete said, one of the terms we always use is the unique individual needs analysis. It's an N of one. Working with traditional healthcare, it's great for the masses, like it as far as public health goes.
Will you talk to my PCP, please?
Yeah, we actually train.
Anything else about me, but just like if I have a bump on my nose or something.
So we actually train physicians as well in this field of medicine to have them more aware and knowledgeable of the things that we look at. The little things like with rowers have really good VO2 max, and VO2 max is like how well your body takes in oxygen into your lungs and supplies it into the blood and gets it.
I've always heard about that, but I never knew what it
Okay, no, it's super important, right? Yeah, so it's an exercise test, and it's a graded test. So imagine if you, from a rowing perspective, imagine if you started off at like a low stroke rate and you went it up by 5, and you went up by 5, and then you were trying to keep that pace until complete fatigue. We're actually measuring the gas exchanges you have during that exercise, because you go from being aerobic to then being anaerobic, where you're like breathing really heavy, it's hard, like your muscles are burning. The more oxygen you can utilize at that peak level of intensity, the lower your risk for all-cause mortality and cardiovascular events.
So that has ramifications, not just for winning
like
the race.
Exactly. Performance, but also mortality.
Yeah, so we track that on all of our patients, and we use that as a tool to look at their risk, but we also track that to maximize their performance. So if you did a VO2, and I said, all right, Charlotte, so when you hit around 140 beats per minute is when you start to go anaerobic. Your legs are going to start burning, your breathing's going to get hard.
Your little guy on the shoulder.
And the little guy on the shoulder,
You're going to die.
Yeah, exactly. Stop. We know that we're like, hey, you can keep going for another 30 seconds before we know you physiologically can't. So let's push it for 10 more seconds. Let's recover based on what your recovery is like. Maybe it's 2 minutes, and then let's get back up there. Over time, that's going to raise up your capacity, raise up your VO2. So your performance on the erg, your performance on the water, and your risk factors for all-cause mortality are going to improve.
Right. I was training with Ann Warner, who's a legendary rower.
I'm still new. I'm still like a noob to rower, so I'm sorry I don't have the recall.
Red Road's crew, the Title IX.
Okay.
She's one of that crew.
Yeah.
And she's out of CRI.
Okay.
Right next to me on the boat rack.
That's super cool.
Yeah, but she was like, she's intense. It's like
the best people are.
I was training with her because her partner was out of town. She was training for the head of the Charles. She said, okay, we're going to do 30, 30, and 30. And then she deconstructed my performance.
Oh, yeah, I get that. I mean, that's why I have the coaching too. I mean, yeah. It's never easy. I mean, like, because I share with these guys.
You can mentally power through that.
Yeah.
She said, you can do it. Your brain is going to tell you you can't.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's amazing. Yeah. Well,
that's one of the cool things about the VO2 is like, 'cause my brain, like I know I'm getting tired. I look at my watch like, oh, I still have more.
Yeah.
So if you have data.
Yeah.
You
I mean, well, this Garmin allegedly tells you VO2.
It's an estimation. Yeah. We can do direct testing, so no questions asked.
You got the cool stuff. Well, thank you so much for coming by.
Thank you for having us. Honestly, it was great to just bump into you yesterday.
Awesome. I really love talking to all kinds of people, and you guys are we really appreciate you supporting your daughter.
Well, we appreciate you.
Awesome to watch.
Yeah.
It's a magical event.
It's great too to see a sport where you can continue the sport and compete for the rest of your life. I mean,
there's somebody like 90s.
Yeah. No, I mean, for us,
and you're going to get a lot more health benefits than playing golf.
It's very true. Not to dig at golf. But you're right.
Maybe you can carry your bag every day, but who wants to do that?
Yeah, exactly. Well, thank you guys. They're the best. Let's keep the
Charlotte,
going.
Stay in touch. Yeah, this is great.
I want to do that. So thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Take care.